Have you ever had that feeling where you knew you had to talk to an employee about their behavior or how they show up at work? Yeah, I've been there too. It's easy to avoid this kind of conversation. But as leaders, we need to address these issues. We've all seen it. Someone who is not as engaged as they could be and not contributing to their potential. Yet we put it off, we procrastinate, and hope it gets better. Maybe that's because we don't know how to address it. Let's talk about a powerful approach to preparing for and having that kind of conversation. Essentially, a coaching conversation with your people. Let's take the case of Annika. She's the leader of a team with a few people who aren't contributing as they could be. Her first talk will be with Dariush. Dariush is a bright person who's not seemed as engaged with his work and with the team recently. But before she talks with him, she needs to think hard about how she has contributed to the situation. She realizes that she hasn't given him the full support that he needs, and she hasn't adapted her own communication style to him. Next, Annika needs to figure out how she'll establish what's at stake for both the business and for Dariush's development if the situation doesn't improve. She needs to tell Dariush that his development and contributions are critical to his and the team's success, and that this conversation is the first step to achieving that. What she'll say can't sound scripted. It must be clear and honest and genuine. Once she's prepared, Annika sits down with Dariush to tell him that she noticed how he's not seemed fully engaged and that she'd really like to hear his perspective. She's prepared a few open-ended questions that will help Dariush express his side of the story and help her understand where he's coming from. She says, "Help me understand why I'm not seeing you contribute in meetings as you have in the past," and asks, "What challenges are you experiencing, and what factors are contributing to the situation? And is there something that I'm doing or not doing that's influencing your behavior?" This exploration may take some time, and there may be some emotion involved. Annika may need to flex her style so that she's responsive to Dariush's needs during this conversation. She needs to be open to new information that she hasn't considered. She may not get through this in one sitting. They may need to pause and come back to it. And Dariush's level of honesty and openness is dependent on the level of trust that's been established in the past. But just having a genuine conversation will aid in the trust-building process. Then it's time for them to discuss possible options or solutions to try. They'll share ideas here and come to a mutual agreement about next steps. Annika will want to be sure that Dariush feels heard and understood so that he remains engaged at this stage. Rather than just nodding in agreement with her, he'll come up with ideas. This makes it more likely he'll follow through with their new agreement. Once solutions and strategies have been discussed, Dariush and Annika will commit to a specific set of actions along with milestones and check-in points as needed. Annika will commit her support and appropriate resources. And finally, they'll discuss how to prepare for potential challenges or barriers. Annika will summarize what they've discussed to confirm their commitments. This conversation will help Annika bring Dariush closer to behaviors aligned with go-to performance.